Hi, my name is Caroline, and this is a presentation brought to you by Student Organization Specialists. This is titled Marketing, Branding, and Your RSO, otherwise known as Getting the Word Out 101. In this presentation, we're going to talk about why getting the word out matters. We're going to talk about branding your RSO and various marketing methods you can use. Along the way, we'll touch up on some policies you're going to need to know to stay in compliance with CMU. And at the end, your SOS can talk to you about a worksheet and discussion piece. So this is important because having a distinct, identifiable brand and a unique marketing strategy will really make your RSO stand out. It'll make it look credible and also attract new eyes, or in your case, potential new members. The goal of this presentation is for you to be able to develop a brand and a mission for your RSO in the sense that I can look at a sea of posters and understand without reading which one belongs to your RSO. So what's a brand? A brand is a distinct set of consistent colors, fonts, images, and style features that are used to identify your organization. Before you can develop a brand, though, you need to understand the mission of your RSO, and that means making a mission statement. A mission statement is a phrase that can summarize the goal or mission of your organization. An important thing to realize is that your mission should really reflect what you're doing and where you're going with your RSO. If your mission statement no longer reflects your RSO, maybe your RSO is a little bit older, it's important to understand that you can change your mission statement. Or maybe if your RSO is not living up to your mission statement, you need to change what you're doing in your RSO. Either way, your mission statement should reflect what you're doing in your RSO and what your goals are. A good mission statement is something that's unique, concise, and understandable. So when you read it, even if it's not labeled, you should be able to tell which organization it belongs to. For example, I should be able to read the Student Government Association mission statement and understand, without knowing which organization it is, that it belongs to SGA because of the wording and the goals listed in the mission statement. So once you have your mission statement, you need to use it to shape the tone of your organization. Now, what's tone? Tone is the style that your group conveys in marketing, wording, and general interactions. So tone can come in many forms. So let's think about your RSO. Is it professional? Is it really social? Are you an academic RSO? Are you an RSO marketed toward younger people? Are you an advocacy-based RSO? These different adjectives and many more can be used to define the tone of your RSO. For example, the CMU Student Government Association tries to be a professional tone, whereas a more recreation-based group may have a fun, youthful tone. So really think about, in accordance with your mission statement, who are you trying to attract and for what reasons? Think about adjectives you would use to describe your RSO, and those typically can be used to shape your tone. But now that you've got a tone and you've got a mission statement, you need to come up with a color palette for your organization. Color palettes may seem kind of frivolous, but if used effectively, they can really make you stand out. For example, let's look at the bottom of the slide here. All three of these pieces belong to the stage, and you can tell that because of the green they use. Even on that middle cover photo, you can still tell that it belongs to stage because of the green triangles. Imagine having a color that's so distinct for your RSO that just using it shows that it belongs to your RSO. You can include that in so many different things. So using your tone, kind of come up with a color palette for your organization. For example, if you're affiliated with CMU directly, you can use the official maroon 6A0032 or gold FFC A2E. But if you kind of want to stand out on your own, you can use a variety of other different colors. So for example, SGA, because we are kind of a spectrum of CMU, we use the official maroon and gold. Whereas another organization, Pack Your Bag, has its own palette based off blue and orange. And if you couldn't read and you were looking at these without reading, you could tell, based on those two organizations and those color schemes, which marketing materials belong to which. So after you've got your color, you're going to talk about some fonts. So again, keeping tone and mission statement in mind, come up with a set of fonts for your organization. Using consistent fonts can make you look really professional. So below I have some examples of different fonts. We got serif, sans serif, and fun fonts, but it's important to know that you can even mix your fonts. It's okay to let your fonts mix and mingle if it comes out looking nice and professional. So in this picture here of Matthew, I've got a fun font, I've got a standard bold font, in the corner I've got an unbolded font. It seems silly, but if you use consistent fonts and colors, your organization's really going to look professional and they've got the credibility together. So, branding. Consistent color and font help others immediately recognize content from your organization. If you are consistently using the same color and the same font, people are going to be able to look at social media posts, posters, and various other things to recognize what's going on. For example, if I'm scrolling down my phone, it'll be much easier for your RSO's advertisement to jump out at me if I recognize the color on the font. If I'm looking at a sea of posters on a bulletin board, I want to be able to pull out your RSO's flyer immediately without having to read it. It's also kind of cool if you can use your brand in your different PowerPoints and different other materials you use within your meetings. This can create a sense of unity in your organization. They all kind of have a brand they can attach to. So let's talk logos. A logo is one of the best tools you can have for marketing your RSO. Below, I have a variety of different RSO examples. So SGA's got a professional logo. Central Harmony has a really cool logo. Running Club looks really sporty. Amnesty International is simple, but it gets to the point. So your logo should reflect the tone of your RSO and, if possible, relate to your mission. So we got Bicycle Club here. Bicycle Club involves, well, bicycles. So we got a wheel and banner, and boom, that's a logo. It doesn't have to be that complicated. So you can use resources like MGX upstairs in the UC or canva.com, which is a free application on your computer, to develop a logo. Like I said, Canva is free and it's very useful when developing marketing strategies. This presentation made on Canva. So now you got to develop your brand. You've got the fonts, the image, the logo, and the colors. Make those come together and have fun with it to create something unique for your specific RSO. So let's talk about marketing now that we've talked about branding. Now that you've developed the brand, you can use that brand to get the word out about your organization at its various events. So let's mix it up. Don't stick to just flyers or emails or social media. Using a mixture of various marketing methods can really help you reach a greater audience. For example, not everyone has a Facebook, but not every student also goes to ANSPA Hall for their classes. So if you just did posters in ANSPA, you might not hit some people. And if you just did social media, you're definitely not going to hit some people. So Marky Heidemann lists the 3 C's of marketing: consistency, creativity, and connections. You're going to hear me say consistency a lot, and that's because it's really important. Creating an online brand for your organization helps you distinguish among the noise. Consistency and weekly reminders using similar wording will help you stay in the loop with your members. Creativity. People won't pay attention to your marketing materials if they fail to catch their attention in the first place. Try using new techniques beyond simple social media text posts to engage your audience. For example, I have at the bottom there this post from the LGBTQ Services Office has people using emoticons and various Facebook Reacts to talk about a different program they had. This poster from the Peer Involvement Advisor team was actually shaped like a foot. The white space was not there, it was cut out. And so imagine you're walking through a hallway and you see a big foot on the wall. That's going to attach your attention. So try being creative. Do something that no one else is doing. Connections is really important. Responding to messages in a timely manner to show that you are effective and attentive. Using a friendly voice and interacting with your social media followers will help others stay tuned in. A good rule of thumb is that if a potential member or a member of your RSO emails you, try to get to that email as soon as you can, or at least by the end of the day. We've all had those professors who we email and then we wait 3 days for a response and we feel really like we're a number in a classroom. Imagine how good you feel, though, when you email your professor and they email within that hour. You feel awesome and you feel like you're really important. So if you're a potential new RSO member, or you're a member who's maybe thinking about leaving the organization, or you're just a general member, and you email the treasurer of your RSO and they take forever to email you back, you're not going to feel like a valued member of that RSO. However, if you email the treasurer and you get a response right away, you're going to feel like you're really cared about and valued. So the example I have down here, somebody once tweeted at the LGBTQ office if there are gender-neutral bathrooms on campus. The LGBTQ services did a great job of using connections. They not only responded appropriately and in time, but they also went above and beyond. They not only said, yes, there are gender-neutral bathrooms, but they provided a whole list of bathrooms. It's important to always give more information than you are asked for. So, obviously, social media is an accessible way to keep members of your organization, as well as potential new members, updated on events, general meetings, and overall messages regarding your organization. Something I really like that the CMU Student Government Association does is they have their meeting time right on their cover page. If you've got consistent meeting time, might as well have it on your cover photo so that people can easily access it. Let's talk about a good social media page. You can either use it internally to have new members be updated and old members be updated, or you can have it externally. You're attracting members of the community, members who can join your organization. Important thing to know is that your logo or whatever identifying photo you have for your organization needs to be your profile picture. This is part of the branding thing we talked about. Also, again, having your meeting times clear and up front, maybe even your cover photo, is really important. So post about your meetings to gain entrance, and consider not just saying a meeting time, but also what will be discussed at the meeting. We have an example from Sage here. The graphic shows that we want you at your meeting. We have a location, date, and time, but the descriptive has more information. It talks about what they're going to talk about a little bit, but doesn't say too much. In terms of events, you not only should be making Facebook events for your programs, but you should be advertising these events with eye-catching graphics. If you make a Facebook event, your members can share it on their own Facebook pages, which will give you a larger outreach. You can create a classy cover photo, and you can track who's interested, who's maybe thinking about going, who can and cannot go. So it's important not only just make the event, but also to share the event on your social media and create separate graphics for that event that link back to the event page. You should also advertise your social media. Otherwise, people just won't know where to find you. So even if you're not using social media, if you're using a poster, at the bottom of your poster, you could have links to your social media. So if I'm looking and I say, wow, that office is doing a lot of cool programs. How do I get more involved? Oh, they've got a Facebook page. You've now brought people to the social media side of your marketing. Again, if you're on Facebook, maybe you should market your Instagram page, more followers, or your Twitter page, or your phone number. There's so much you can share in your social media. Not only just posting about your meetings or events, but there's a lot you can do for retention and recruitment as well. For example, doing a Meet the eBoard kind of post will allow people to connect to your RSO eBoard members as people, not just as people in leadership positions. So if I'm looking at that post there, I'm like, wow, Alex majors biochemistry, my major's biochemistry in this example. Maybe I connect to Alec a little bit more. Maybe having them submit reasons they joined the RSO or what their favorite part about it or favorite memory is can really help people connect to your RSO members. Member recognition is really huge in retention. If you're recognizing your members, they're going to see that and they're going to see that they feel valued. And it's also really cool to show that who is representing your RSO. Also, throwback photos are always fun to show what your RSO has done in the past, maybe what they're working on currently. But photos are really key. People look at photos, they look to see if they are tagged in photos. If they see that they're in a photo, they're going to tag themselves. If they tag themselves or share that photo of themselves, they're reaching all of their Facebook friends. So, your members will often look through these photos to see if they're in any of them. And if they are, they're likely to share those images. And this is important because it's free marketing. Pictures also show potential new members the culture of your RSO. So please take photos often at your events, at your general meetings, do those RSO recognition posts, tag your members. If you put your logo on your pictures too, it's free marketing if people share it. So photos are super key. So let's get off of social media. Let's talk about posters. Posters are classic and they can be used to advertise meetings, events, and the potential to join your organization. So let's look at a good poster here. Here's a few elements that go into making a great poster. First of all, we see the branding up front. We see the logo, we see the colors, we see it all. We got the RSO logo, the name of the event, the clear date, time, and location. A little sneak peek at the agenda never hurts. An invitation's important if you only are having certain people come to your RSO. For example, if you're the finance club and maybe you only allow finance majors in your club, make sure you specify that. If you're open to anybody who are maybe not finance majors, make sure you specify that as well. You don't want people to be able to turn themselves away from your RSO just because they think they can't go to a meeting. Also, having a short description of the event that doesn't go into a paragraph detail, but a little bit to get me interested. And of course, the name of your organization is important. So on the left, we have a bad poster. On the right, we've got a great poster. Bad poster, it doesn't catch my eye. It doesn't tell me which Tuesday we're meeting. It doesn't tell me what we're meeting about. Are we a club that fixes bicycles, ride bicycles? We just talk about bicycles? Also, is this a member meeting? Is this an event, a general meeting? I don't know what's happening. On the good poster, we have a little attention getter that asks me if I want to explore Mount Pleasant, stay active, and meet new friends. It's telling me that's an informational meeting. It tells me the specific Friday, the specific time, and the specific room number. It tells me that all is welcome, and it tells me that at this event, we're going to meet fellow cyclists and learn about our new RSO. It's also got the branding, the colors, the fonts, and the logo. So posters can be hung anywhere on campus where there's a public bulletin board. However, you got to be sure to pay attention if the board has a label such as biology only or posters will be removed every Friday at noon. You don't want to waste valuable money printing posters only to have them torn down. So here's a quick shout out on how to give posters hung in residence halls. Number 1, email and attach PDF of your flyer to reslife@cmh.edu, or you can bring in the printed posters in person to Ronan 270. Make sure, however, either way, to introduce yourself and your RSO so that ResLife understands who you are and what you're promoting. Make sure that the content is appropriate for residence hall, otherwise it might not be approved. Be patient with the Office of Residence Life, and if they approve your flyer, they'll send you the maximum amount of posters you can print for each residence hall. Once you print the flyers, you can bring them to Ronan 270, let the secretary know that your flyer has been approved, and ask them for the stamp of approval. Now, one or two things will happen. They'll either give you the stamp and you can stamp all your posters, or better yet, most of the time, if you give them the posters, they will distribute them to the residence hall for you. Imagine all the footwork you're saving just by dropping it off to Ronan 270. So emails are great too. You can use emails to specifically target a certain demographic. For example, getting an email list when tabling at Main Stage or Exploration Central will give you a group of people to email with updates on your RSO. You can make a newsletter, you can make just a weekly update, however you want to do. You can also email professors in certain departments flyers for your events if you believe they will appeal to certain students. For example, if your business RSO is having a networking night, you might want to email business professors the information to pass on to the students. I've had a lot of my professors show different flyers for events on campus if they know that their students may be interested. Some professors even offer extra credit for going to certain events. Chalking is really cool in the spring and fall months. So use sidewalk chalk to spread your message. Make your message stand out with brightly colored chalk to keep your message brief and informational while targeting high traffic areas on campus. Be sure to include details that a student could use to either learn more about your event or come to your event. Here's some guidelines if you choose to chalk. Chalking is allowed on horizontal sidewalks, fully exposed to the weather elements. Not allowed on brick paving surfaces, vertical surfaces, buildings, signs, wall, pillars, posts, benches, doors, planters, windows, trees. Basically, something that's not a sidewalk should not have chalk on it. A good rule of thumb, if the rain can erase it, it's a great place to chalk. Chalking must be at least 20 feet from the entrance to any building. It must be water soluble. Spray paint, chalk, spray chalk, markers, oil-based products not permitted. Good classic sidewalk chalk. Also, understand the university has a right to remove any chalking that doesn't comply with the policy. There's sometimes a charge for removing chalking. They also reserve to write and clean any chalking that does not naturally disappear within a week. And if you're not official RSO, sorry, you can't chalk on CMU's campus. So board writing is often overlooked, but it's a great way to connect with students. Writing in the corner of the classroom whiteboards, getting your message to certain demographics, can be sure to keep your message brief and label it as safe so it doesn't get erased. It's important to show quick information such as name, meeting time, and location. For example, let's think about that business RSO. Wouldn't it be a great idea to go into the business classrooms with a whiteboard marker and just write in the corner, hey, finance majors, are you interested in joining a finance RSO? Meet here at this time in this location. And then circle it and write save. But then again, professors may erase it, but if they don't, you now have an active classroom setting that everyone can come and look at your thing. So if I'm sitting in the classroom, my eyes tend to wander around. I am now a captive audience to whatever you have on that whiteboard. This is an often overlooked strategy, but it's a specific way to look at certain demographics. If you're a sociology club, you can do this in ANSPA. If you are a club that deals with biosciences, we got the whole biosciences building. This is a great way to target certain demographics. So, of course, you can often submit announcements to the student news emails. These go out to all students. So whenever you get that student news email, feel free to submit an announcement. Tabling is a great and interactive way to engage the student body and share information about your RSO. So here are the do's and don'ts of tabling. You got to make your table appealing. Having a tablecloth, having informational flyers, having posters, having people who look really happy to be there. It's also important to have more than one person at your table. A, if somebody has another person to talk to, they're less likely to be on their phones. And B, if I'm talking to somebody, I am missing out on all the people walking behind me as I'm talking to that person. Whereas if I have two people, I can have one person drawing people to the table and one person engaging with members. Looking approachable. Don't look miserable to be tabling. Don't be somebody who doesn't have anything on their table. Also make sure to read your room. If people have their headphones in, they may not want to talk to you. If a tour group walks by, they definitely don't want to talk to you. They're not CMU students. Don't be rude to people. Consider having a tagline. When SGA tables, we sometimes look for student suggestions, and our tagline is, hey, what do you want to change about campus? Having an open-ended question may have people come to your table. If, for example, if you're an advocacy RSO that deals with animals, be like, hey, what do you know this interesting fact about animal cruelty? Or, hey, do you want to help save a kitten? Various different taglines can help people come to your table. Also consider having an interactive element, maybe a series of sticky notes people could put on there, or they can all write on a piece of butcher block paper, or they can take some candy, or they can take a flyer. Interactive elements make it really easy. So don't leave your table uncovered. Don't look unhappy to be tabling. Don't attack people when they walk by, and don't be unprepared to answer questions. If you're signing up general members to table, make sure they have at least a fact sheet to be able to answer questions, or at the very least, be able to take people to certain email addresses to answer further questions. Don't forget also, a little shout out to our booking space video, Don't forget to reserve your space 15 days in advance. Again, if you need help booking space, SOS has a video about how to book space on CMU's campus. Don't be disruptive to your environment. Like we said, if you have a tour group going through, don't try to talk to them. If you have a quiet scene, don't be loud. Don't play loud music. Just let the environment be and be a part of it. So you can rent tabling equipment from the SGA RSO Toolbox for free. It's a great way to make your table look appealing. We've got tablecloths, chalk, easels, whiteboards. Email sga@cmich.edu to learn more about this. So OrgSync. Again, we have an OrgSync crash course video if you want to learn a little bit more about OrgSync. But in order to effectively market your organization, you really need to have an updated and appealing OrgSync profile. The Peer Involvement Advisor program meets with students who are looking to get involved, and the way they do this is by showing students OrgSync portals of various organizations. So if you have updated emails, you have poor information, you don't have a photo on your OrgSync page, you're not going to be able to attract those potential new members. Here's what a good RSO page looks like. You have a picture of your RSO's logo, you've got your full RSO name. You should include a description of your RSO's mission, maybe some examples of what your RSO has done in the past, how potential new members can join. Really important, meeting dates, times, and locations. That way, if I'm thinking about joining your RSO, I know where to go. I don't have to wait and play email tag a few. Also, contact information if potential new members want to learn more. So thank you. If you need more information about marketing and branding in your RSO, feel free to reach out to your student organization specialist by emailing sai@cmich.edu. Thank you.